Hello, hello.
Hold on, we got to fix this here. There we go. Welcome back to All Things Scientology, in which we pull back the curtain on the abusive practices of Scientology. We are your hosts. I am Claire Headley.
And I am Amy Scobie. Well, thank you all for being here today. We have a very fun broadcast that we're doing today with our special guest, Christie Collbran, Rinder. And it's a topic that is just going to be revealing and healing. That's what I call it. So I'd like to welcome our very special friend and guest, Christie Collbran.
Hi, everybody.
Rinder.
There we go. Oh, we both did it at the same time. There we go.
Yes.
Hey, quick question, Amy. It doesn't appear to be live on Mike's channel. Is there something we need to do to fix that?
It should be because it
says waiting for Mike Rinder when I look at it, but maybe I'm just let me refresh.
Really? It says it has a check mark and it says Mike up there.
Oh,
and
there it is.
It shows on my end.
Okay, sorry, it's there.
That's okay.
Oh, good.
Okay.
We messed it up so bad last time. I didn't want to do that again this time.
I've had whole conversations and then realized I didn't push the start stream.
Exactly.
Mark and Aaron did that once too. They were like 7 minutes in and it was like, oh, not even live.
Yeah, I'm just going to open it. And there we go. Mute that so I can comment from over there. Sorry, everybody.
No, it's
all
good.
Wonderful.
I know what you mean, Christie. You get multiple audio streams going and it's really confusing. I've literally frozen sometimes, been like, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all good.
Okay.
Yes. Well, what we have today is we're going to do a week in review, and then we're going to take up a subject that's really hot, which is when you leave Scientology, a lot of times what happens is you're physically leaving, but you're mentally still in. And what does it take to actually strip that off and leave Scientology for good? So this is a hot topic that we're going to take up today. We all have stories along this line. We'll go more into that in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and start telling you about this last week in review. Here we go. Week ending 10/18/2023. Week in review. I made this new slide. SPTV recent videos.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Okay, so the first video was, I did a video with Liz Ferris, and we talked about Celebrity Center International because she worked there and I managed that sector. And so we had a lot of common reality and experiences and thoughts. And it was really good. And especially considering the protest that's coming up for against Celebrity Center that people are going to be attending this Saturday, which we'll talk about more. So we were talking about that as well. That was very good. I really enjoyed that. Then I had a solo, Amy Goes Solo, and I did a 2.5 hour solo on my channel and on Alex's channel.
Wow.
And you can see up in the corner, where's Alex? That's because we had a scheduled live and I went ahead and just did it, even though he didn't show up. And so what was so funny about that, by the way, was I had a friend in London. I said, can you go, check on him? Let's check on him because, he didn't show up. So I haven't heard anything. And everyone's like, where's Alex? There was this whole, where's Alex in the whole community. So she said, yeah, I got the police going over to check it out. He was there. He was asleep. He was exhausted. He did a video.
BT's Activate. That's BT's Activate right there.
BT's Activate. Yes. So we found him. He was totally okay. And we're going to be doing another, this is the one that we were going to do. And we are going to do it this coming Sunday. So
nice.
Yes. Yeah. And then also,
it's all good. We all hit roadblocks. This is not an easy space to be in all of the time. We try to make it seem easy, but it's not. It just isn't.
I know.
Never was, never will be.
Take the time that you need in order
Yep.
to recuperate, relax, and everyone's counting on ourselves. We give ourselves great targets because that's what's built into our fabric. But
Yep.
yeah, take the time you need.
Yep. Absolutely. Oh, Liz Ferris in the house. Hi, Liz.
Hey, Liz, lots of love
Liz.
to you. Okay, so then another video that was done was live stream with Mike and Mark, Scientology Spy Wing Crumbling. I watched this. I thought it was really good.
Yes.
With the whole perspective that Mike has 25 years with OSA experience and knowing what happens at the int base when certain things are going down. So that perspective was amazing. So anyone who hadn't seen it, I recommend going over and watching that.
Yes.
Then of course we had another Mark and Mitch make a movie.
I do too. It just,
Do you?
I will say it always reminds me of Zach and Perry make a blah, but still, Mark and Mitch make a movie. It's got a certain ring to it that's really funny.
So that's number 7, and so that's valuable for documenting history. And then you guys did a live last night, which was really interesting. And of course, I was with you, just watching from the chat.
Yes. Thank you for joining us. That was really, I think that was time well spent. I personally. What do you think, Christie?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I had a lot of thoughts about it beforehand, and I wanted to make sure we did it justice from the good and the bad. So I hope we did.
I think it was great. I only had to stop myself from crying once.
Yeah.
I know. And Matt was with me too when we were watching. We watched it together, and we have a lot of emotions on the subject, I can tell you. Believe me. It's like it's not easy to lose a friend, and also especially one that then turns against you, and you already know why that's being done, because of gross, disgusting blackmail and everything else. It's just it's a cult, and these are all the result of cult activity.
Yeah, but even knowing that does not remove the sting of betrayal. It doesn't.
Definitely not.
Yep.
Yeah. I got some words if I ever saw. Yeah, but I know.
Yes, I know. You know what's funny? I will say that on recovering from Scientology, I've learned it's really important to exercise that muscle that was atrophied for us for so many years of letting the emotions out. It's okay to have them. It's okay to experience them. It's okay to be angry one day and sad the next day and exhilarated the next day and then upset again. It's okay.
I tried to call Christie earlier this week. Probably a good thing I didn't, because I was upset. And because sometimes you just need not just your husband to talk to, even though it's amazing and I can tell him anything and stuff like that, but sometimes you just want a little bit of a different thing.
Yep.
Or to just cry or whatever, but sometimes that happens, and it has to be okay, to feel emotions. And it's not human emotion and reaction that'll send you the RPF.
Nope, definitely not. It's not case on post. It's none of that. It's just being a normal, ordinary, day-to-day human.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So another one that was done, because Mike's channel is on here, I want to promote this, which is Mike and Leah's latest, which is Victim is a Dirty Word in Scientology. And it is. And I thought that was a wonderful stream as well. It's healing. It's healing to watch as a former Scientologist. And I think it's also revealing for people who are trying to understand cults to see that. Yep.
Completely.
And then there was a beautiful health update by Christie and Mike. And that was, that couldn't have been better news, Christie.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been. Yeah. And
amazing.
That takes us,
absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Hooray. And I thank all of the prayer warriors that were activated, and all the people who activated their BTs as well.
Yes.
And
yeah.
And that takes us to the photo of the week this week, which is Team Mike.
So cute.
Yeah,
it is. I saw that. that on your Facebook, and I said, "Oh, that's totally the photo of the week." It really is. But I do have a spooky photo of the week. You ready?
Yep.
Coming up on Halloween. Oh no, that's congratulations, Team Mike. But here's my spooky.
Oh,
Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh wow.
I don't know what happened to my type style. It was all Halloween looking. But anyway, when I loaded it up on StreamYard, it obviously screwed it around, but it said scariest picture of the week. And it's got Dave upside down in this like test tube. I love it.
Oh my goodness,
Scariest
that
picture of the week.
makes me think we should say, "Okay, everybody, send in your Halloween Davy Elf pictures, and we'll pick one each month leading up until Christmas or until we're sold out, whichever happens first."
I was afraid you were going to upload one of the Halloween costume pictures that I shared in that Mike.
That's what I thought was coming too,
like, oh,
Christie.
no, it's going to be so bad. Getting a second viewing.
Those were so awesome, Christie. But my favorite, even though Xenu is probably my favorite, but I laughed out loud because I had never seen it, was the grapes on Mike. I mean, oh my God,
it was amazing.
I can't believe you got him in that outfit.
Yeah, for anyone who missed it, if you go watch the health update video, you get to see a few fun pictures of us in our Halloween costumes towards the end. Mike was mortified that these pictures were being shared.
They were just perfect.
Oh, my hubby's in the chat. BFG in the house. Hey, honey.
Hey, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, honey. So now we have a YouTube comment of the week, and I picked this one from the video that I did with Liz. It's from Whirlwind 96. It says, "Amy and Liz, you spoke about the homeless near the Celebrity Center. My nephew was homeless and returned home recently from there. He said it was awful. I was so fearful he was going to be taken in by the cult. You are so right about if Scientology was actually doing good for the planet, why are they not taking the homeless in and giving them food, beds, showers, and rehabilitating them? We thank God he made it home and now is getting the help he needs, getting the help here he needs. Keep exposing this terrible cult. Because of the exposure, I was able to at least have an idea of what to do if he did get involved. The little contact we had, I was able to keep him away from them."
Wow.
The Whirlwind 96. That's really wonderful. I'm so happy about that. And I'll send you a copy of my book. So just send me an email, amy@scobypublishing.com, amy@scoby-publishing.com. And I will send you a book for your comment of the week.
That's awesome. Thank you, Whirlwind 96. Great comment there.
Yes. I mean, it's so true, though. I mean, real charity. It's not a charitable organization.
No.
You know? By any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, I know.
They'll hose you down.
We could break it down one. We should do an analysis of that one day because there's so many aspects to it. Like, you know, if you really think you have a body of knowledge that's going to save the entire planet, why does it cost millions of dollars?
Right.
Why?
It's exclusive. Yeah.
Yep.
Unless you're going to work for them to the bone.
Yeah.
They're going to hose you off the sidewalk if you don't have a place to live. It's really sick.
Yeah.
People are shocked when they see stuff like that. But okay, so here's the Scientology word of the week. You don't know what it is yet because I picked it after we spoke. So here it is. As is. Because people keep asking me, did this as is? So let's clarify the definition. As is, the world definition is an idiom. It says, in the state that something is in at the present time. Sentence. He bought the car as is, then discovered there was no engine. Oh, gosh. Okay. And then Scientology definition, it's a verb. To view anything exactly as it is without any distortions or lies, at which moment it will vanish and cease to exist. Sentence. Auditing didn't as is his upset over forced disconnection.
Yep.
So yeah, they think that if you view something in its entirety with no lies, no distortions, no additions, no anything, it will vanish.
Yep,
cease to exist.
Yeah, including the exact time, the exact place, the exact form, meaning what exactly happened, and the result, the event. All of those 4 elements are allegedly what makes up making something go poof and it no longer exists.
Right. So that's why we expose Scientology.
Yep.
So that you can confront it in its entirety and it'll go poof.
Yep.
Okay. Quote of the week this week. Someone was speaking about Helen Keller this week, so I got a quote from Helen Keller. This was on Aaron's channel. They were talking about that.
Oh.
It says, when one door of happiness closes, another opens. But often we look so long at the closed door that we do not see the one which has been opened for us. Helen Keller. I like that one.
Yeah.
We look so long at the closed door that we don't see the one which has been opened for us.
I will say the version of that I love is when one door opens, when one door closes, another opens. But sometimes the hallway in between really sucks.
I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah.
Yeah. The hallway.
Change.
And
can
sometimes
be hard.
the hallway.
Sometimes
that hallway is pretty damn long too.
Yeah, and sometimes it's pretty damn, rough looking.
Yes. So the next thing on our week in review is show and tell. So do you have anything that you would like to show or tell?
I don't actually. Okay. I came woefully unprepared. As I told you, I was knee deep in spreadsheets all day. So
I know. Yuck.
It's all good. Okay. I don't mind. I just look at this.
Zatowski.
John Zatowski.
So
I got him. So
does he make noise?
I have stuff from John, but I wasn't prepared either. It's just right over there. I have to go get it.
Yeah, okay, you can get it.
No problem.
If you want me to show stuff from John.
Yeah. And then
actually, I just remembered something. Hold on.
Okay, hold on. I gotta go get something too.
Oh my
goodness. This is what I should do. Oh, whoops. How did that happen?
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Oh, wait, where'd we go? Oh, there we are.
I don't know.
Wait, I thought we were doing that other format. Okay, yeah, we're good.
I'm pretty sure this is from John, and it says Mike and Christie.
Oh, yes, we have one of those.
Really cute.
We have one of those with Mark and Claire on it over there.
Yeah, that after one of the health updates, and then this one because there was a Papa Smurf. There was a Papa Smurf comparison that Mike is the Papa Smurf, and he sent us all the Smurfs, and that's just really cute because Mike is the Papa Smurf.
Yeah, he's totally a Papa Smurf.
But Mike's not here to see that.
Yep. Here's the other thing I got.
SPT. And what is the item?
It's a necklace. It's a necklace.
Oh, okay.
And it's made out of I think it's made out of glass. Anyway, I'm gonna. I don't have the name of the person who sent it to me, and she was very kind to send several items. So I'm gonna let her know to send us a link to an Etsy store or something like that if she wants to share those. Yes,
that's so fun. Okay, and then in my solo, I did 2.5 hours and talked about all kinds of things, and people just asked me a zillion questions. But one of the things that I talked about was coloring, and that I love to color. And so I got this cute little coloring thing. Now, what did it? And from Jen and Jennifer Snell, and it's like stained glass, and it's bees and insects and stuff. And so you can color it with any kind of pens or crayons or whatever, and put them up near light, and they shine through like stained glass. And I think that's very nice of her.
Nice.
And then Linda, I got to show you this. This is my favorite so far. These are really heavy. There's 2 of them. And what it says, if you can see it, I don't know if it'll show, Amy's root beer float. Amy's root beer float, right? And it has the date of when we left Scientology. No,
Nice.
when we got married. That's our marriage date, March 13th, 2005. So it says S on mine, and of course it says on Matt's P.
There's significance to the root beer float that I'm missing. Was that like the thing that you wanted when you left?
It's the first thing I bought. Yeah. As soon as I went to the store. It was the first thing I bought because it was such a we lived right next to we're close by an A&W root beer. I don't know if you've ever been to one of those A&Ws. And I used to get root beer floats there. It was my favorite thing as a kid. So when I left the Sea Org and Matt and I met up and we went grocery shopping for our first time, we were like kids in a candy store. And all I could think about was going and getting ice cream and root beer to make root beer floats. Anyway, so she's just so sweet. I told that story, and then I get in the mail these amazing root beer float mugs. So
that's
so
awesome.
Yes.
Very nice.
So those are my show and tells. Now we're going to talk about what's coming soon. So the first thing is the protest at Celebrity Center International. So this is on October 21st, which is this Saturday. And the scheduled time is between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. And the address is right there, which is 5930 Franklin Avenue. It's not hard to find. Look for the big building.
And sorry, I don't already know the answer to this, but who is organizing this?
I don't know if there's a single person. I know a lot of people that are going to be there.
Okay.
And Aaron Smith-Levin is going. And Liz is going to be there. And Laura FM will be there. And
awesome.
I don't know who the organizer is.
Okay.
But
I was just curious. It's all good.
Yeah. A couple other things coming up is another episode of Scientology Stories with guest Dylan Gill. That'll be on the Blown for Good channel. And another episode of Mark and Mitch Make Movies.
Yep.
I'm totally renaming that for him. And then I will be having my Live with Apostate Alex on the upcoming IES event. And that's going to be Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And then Claire's not going to be with me next Wednesday. So I'll keep it at 7 p.m. And I have a guest that'll be with me, which is Biddy Blythe Miscavige.
Nice.
And someone that I've known for many, many, many years. We spoke on the phone for like an hour and a half the other day after not speaking to each other in many years. And so this is going to be a really good stream. It'll be a fun live.
Nice. I have one more. Mike and Leah recorded another video today.
Oh, good.
I'll let him announce when and what the topic is and all that, but I'm pretty sure it's another sort of spy files type of document they're going to be discussing. So that one should come out in the next couple of days. It's pre-recorded, so it's not a live. So you'll just have to wait and hear when Mike says it's coming up.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Motivation to hit that bell notification. So if YouTube decides that you should be notified, you will be.
Yes.
Not a perfect system, but
it's so funny. It's so funny because I have the bell notification on all these things. I never get a bell. His phone is going off like continuously, on it, but I don't know why they decide to tell you or not. But anyway, oh well.
Maybe you need to turn on YouTube notifications on your phone, Amy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll have to check that.
Yep.
Subscribe to our YouTube channels, Queen BSP, Blown for Good, and Mike Rinder for continued exposure of the Scientology cult. And that, my friends, is our week in review. So now I'm going to go like this. So now we get to talk about our subject. And Christie, I would like to give it over to you because when we spoke that first time on All Things Scientology, you got to tell your story of getting out. And we spoke afterwards and you said there's so much more to actually getting out. And so that's why we were talking about doing another live together. So go ahead and start that off.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'm sorry I missed part one, by the way, Christie. That was very sad. But, every once in a while, you got to go get some comedy in your life and go see a show.
Of course you do. You have to balance this stuff out with something fun. I mean, it's fun. This is fun too. But anyway.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I actually thought of a couple of things that I forgot to sort of, that we talked about so much. There's no way to cover it all. You know, your whole life in 2 hours is impossible.
I know.
But but one thing that I sort of remembered afterwards that was kind of important to the leaving and getting declared story that I didn't bring up was the fact that before, so my ex, we talked, if you guys don't know what the whole story, go watch the first video, then you'll be caught up. But we were sort of talking about how I spoke to Marty Rathbun, who we talked about last night. My ex-husband, Chris, had spoken to Marty Rathbun, and we were both communicating with him. He was speaking out, you know, very much at the time, and had a blog where people were coming out. Like, his blog was a coming out blog. He would have new people regularly telling their stories of, okay, I'm out. I left the church. A lot of them, most of them at the time, were still independent Scientologists. So they still believed in the technology, but they didn't want to have anything to do with the organized religion or the church. And one piece of the story that I kind of failed to mention was the fact that another factor that contributed to us getting to that point was that my ex-husband's mother was declared before we were declared. She was a staff member at Tampa Org. She had been like the ED and the deputy ED. Her name's Christine Collbran. Our name is very similar. And she blew because of, you know, the stuff that was going on at the time, the pressures, and RTC was in the org all the time. And ooh, I like your mug, Amy.
I wonder where I got that from, Christie.
Kind, beautiful, and capable of big things. Oh, that's awesome.
So appropriate. That was my, part of her birthday gift.
Yeah, like I had a bunch of different things, and I've been using it all the time. I love it.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, his mother blew. His mother got declared, and he refused to disconnect from her. That was the starting of everything for us. Was that of course he did. It was his mother. He didn't want to disconnect. And the church didn't really force him or me, but I disconnected because my parents were on OT7 and on, you know, at Flag, and they were getting 6-month checks every 6 months. And those are like sec checks where you're getting asked all kinds of questions about all kinds of things, including connections. And so they told me, you have to disconnect. So I disconnected from his mom, but he didn't. So we were married and living this weird life where he talked to his mom and would see his mom, and I wouldn't. And it was very awkward and very weird for, you know, several months until he was just sort of, then he started exploring on the internet and reading Marty Rathbun's writings and other people's writings, and started really, you know, deciding that he was not going to be a Scientologist anymore and telling me about it. And then I spoke to Marty, and eventually around that time, oh, and that was the other piece that I forgot to mention. I brought up Tommy Davis, but I didn't ever tell the story of why did I bring up Tommy Davis? Tommy Davis came to see Chris and to try to handle him, and sat down with him and said, you know, you need to stop talking to Marty, and we know what's going on, and, you know, you need to get your shit together or we're going to declare you, basically, whatever he said. And Chris said, no, I'm not going to do any of that. And, you know, no, thank you. And at the end of the meeting, Chris stood up to shake his hand, to like say, okay, nice talking to you. And he was, I won't shake your hand. He wouldn't shake Chris's hand. And it was like this big, you know.
What an arrogant ass.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
So anyway, that was just something I like thought about after we were done. And I was like, why did I even mention Tommy Davis if I wasn't going to tell you the story of what happened? But anyway,
it happens.
Yeah. And who's the coward now? Thanks for telling us all your crimes you were party to, Tommy Davis.
Right. Yeah.
Crickets.
So Chris was basically done with Scientology. I, you know, it took me a little bit longer. And that's sort of the topic of tonight's discussion is, you know, what does it take to get out completely, out from under the belief system, not just the, you know, the control of the church. And I thought, you know, it took me a while. It took me a couple of years after that. So I remained still sort of in my mind true to R Hubbert and the philosophy for how many more years was it? Probably at least 2 or 3 years. I don't remember exactly, but it took a couple more years. And I thought about like, why was I so determined? You know, why was I so such a believer? And for me, I think part of the reason is we're all different. We all grow up with different lives in different situations. And I had actually a very good, happy childhood. I had a very wonderful, amazing, loving connection with my parents. And I talked about that in that video, that we were extremely close. I loved my mother and father. My dad was like my best friend. I could tell my mother anything. They were always there for me. Okay.
I know.
That's okay. We're giving you a hug. Okay, honey.
Yeah.
So that's the foundation of which I became a Scientologist, was these people I love, and they raised me, and we had a normal life, considering we were Scientologists. We did Christmas, we had presents, we went on vacations, we went to Big Bear, we played in the snow, we did fun things, we went to vacations to San Diego, and we had friends over, we had Thanksgiving, I lived a pretty, all things considered, I was a Scientologist from day one. I lived a very normal life. I went to public school for a lot of it. Yeah, I can talk about the bad pieces. There were bad pieces. There was indoctrination from the very, very, very beginning, but in a loving family environment, right? And so I never felt like extremely hard pressed by my parents. And a lot of second gen people leave and speak about how terrible it was for them and how rebellious they felt the entire time their family was making them do this thing. I didn't have that feeling because we had a good life. I was happy. My mom and dad were great. They parented me very well. I didn't have a lot of complaints about the style of parenting and the way that our lives rolled out. We had a happy family. We really did. I had a brother and a sister. We had pets. I'm trying to describe it with little stupid things that I'm saying, but those are things that are normal.
And that's what makes the difference. Exactly.
Friends came over and we did barbecues. Scientology was there. It was in my life, but it wasn't so bad that I was unhappy. I was never unhappy as a child. I was a happy person, positive. So with all of that, it's kind of like, well, why would I question it? You know what I mean? So when you think about, and when you learn more about psychology and children and the foundation of your life, the first, let's say 7 years or so, maybe a few more, are very, very, very important. And they really form your whole life view. They affect your entire life from then on. Those first 7 to 10 years of your life are so foundational. They're so important to who you become as a person. And that life for me was good. It was happy. It was positive. It was mostly good. There, the little things that happen in Scientology, there wasn't any massive red flags. I was a kid. We were happy. My parents did Scientology, whatever, there wasn't. So, and that's a very drastic comparison to Claire's stories of trauma and neglect and, Claire's terrible, situation with being in the Sea Org at such a young age and her mother basically just abandoning her. And that's a totally different story. You know what I mean? So my story was not like that. Mine, there's plenty of things I could talk about that were bad, and I can definitely highlight the little pieces here and there, but for the most part, it was happy. So when I started doing Scientology, I was excited. I was like, oh, this is what my parents are doing. And this is what our whole family is doing. And this is not a bad thing. And so I was like, okay, they're going into the church and they're going to go do courses there. I want to go. What's happening here? And I try to explain that mindset. It's a very different mindset than a lot of other people had when they were being made to do that stuff. And we did communication courses when I was like 5 or 6 years old, and they were fun. And it was bullbaiting, and bullbaiting is where you try to tease the other person and try to break their, confront, so they laugh or they giggle. And it was fun. We were kids and I enjoyed it. It wasn't torture for me. It was at that stage, maybe later on there were times. For me, it was like, oh, this is fun. We're playing a game at the org, and my parents brought me around the org all the time. They were doing, their OT levels and their auditing. And so I was there with them and I was curious and I wanted to do it too. And so when I was 10, I was basically regged by a reg from LA Org to start on the bridge. And I started on the Purif when I was 10 years old, which was ridiculous. I didn't need to do the Purif. I didn't have any drugs or toxins or anything in my system that needed to become, some Cheerios. Like there was nothing that, you know what I mean? Like I hadn't, and the Purif is supposed to remove all your drugs and whatever. So I did the Purif when I was 10 and it was pretty lame, honestly, for a 10-year-old to do it. And I didn't enjoy it. And, but I was like, well, I got to get through this so I can do the rest because this is what we do. This is what the family does. We are Scientologists. And I had no problem embracing it 100%. And then I did the Hubbard Qualified Scientologist course at LA Org. And I went to Delphi, which is a Scientology school. It's supposed to be not Scientology, but it basically is a Scientology school.
Yeah.
And while going to Delphi, after being at school for hours and hours, because school was long, Delphi was like 9 to 5 or some terrible long day.
Oh, yeah, that's what Mark was saying. Yeah.
Yeah. It was not like
I didn't realize that.
No, it was not like 9 to 3, like normal schools, or 8 to 3.
Right.
It was 9 to 5. And then my mother would drive, and Delphi was 20 or 30 minutes away from my house. My mother would drive over to Delphi and bring me dinner and then drop me off at the Montrose mission so I could start on the student hat. And then I did the student hat, which is another Scientology course. I did the Method 1 co-auditing course. So I was fast flow, which is just the status you get in Scientology so you can study without having to get checkouts, so that someone else doesn't have to check out what you're doing afterwards. You're able to study on your own because you know how to really apply study tech. So I did all of that before I joined the Sea Org. And when the recruiters were around recruiting me, I was like, it was almost romantic. I hate to use that word, but the Sea Org almost seemed romantic to a purebred 100% Scientology kid like me. I was totally into it. I was like, this is the bomb diggity. Those are the cool people. I got to go be part of that cool club. And that's how, it was just scary. There was just fear of, I don't want to leave my family. I don't want to lose my brother and sister. I'm going to miss them because I loved my family so much. But I knew that was where I was destined to be. And eventually I was there. So this is just me sort of throwing in the backdrop of who I was as a person. And there's probably other people that are similar to me and many others that are totally different. Mm-hmm. But I would say a lot of sort of second gen Scientologists that were raised maybe had happy lives like I had and maybe totally bought into Scientology. And those people are probably still there. And I probably would still be there if it weren't for all of the amazing things that happened in my life that brought me out,
Right.
And I'm so grateful for all those things that happened because I was a dedicated, heartfelt, tone 40, amazing Scientologist. There was no way in hell I was going to leave Scientology. So when I left the church, I was still very true blue Scientologist. And if you go back to my first kind of coming out videos and things, I was interviewed we were on the New York Times on the front cover. Me and Chris spoke out in 2010. It was printed in March of 2010. And there were little video clips that were attached to it. And I said very clearly, and I went on the Today Show and spoke to Matt Lauer. And then I went on CNN and spoke to Anderson Cooper. This all happened right around then in 2010. And I said, I'm still a Scientologist. And I was proud. I was like, I was representing all the other independent Scientologists. And I wanted them to know they had a voice. I wanted them to know you can leave the church, you can get out and still be a Scientologist like me. Here I am. You can do what I did and be free of the church and still believe. And I'm glad I did that because I think
your interviews, by the way, were fantastic. They were fantastic. I was super, even though I wasn't a Scientologist, I was super proud of you. Yeah. And also what you said made it just okay for people to be doing what, their exit is going to be individual.
Right.
And you made that okay.
And it also makes it a gradual path and opens that door, which historically Scientology has wanted people to believe, no, it's black or white. You're in or out. You're for us or you're against us.
Right.
And it does not have to be that way at all. And again, I wasn't an independent Scientologist, but I had great respect for you that was the path you chose, and that, and it did make it okay for a lot of people. And it
helped a lot of
has to be a
people.
gradual step, a gradual path for some people.
Right. And some people that became independent Scientologists are still independent Scientologists, and a lot of them are not. But it was true for me at the time, right? I still believed, and I wanted to tell the people that were like me, you can be like me. You don't have to stay in the church. You can leave, you can bring your beliefs with you, and we can be friends out here and figure our stuff out. And what was cool about that was I could also be friends with Amy and Claire, who didn't believe in Scientology.
Right.
And it wasn't a problem. It wasn't like disconnection. Like, no, like we're all just people. And, you still believe and you don't believe, but we can all just have a conversation and talk like normal humans, which is really what should have been happening for the entire group. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that, I did that, and I was proud, and I was, I was speaking out at the time, and I still believed in Scientology, but I wanted to be, Marty came to me, and Marty said, I have this reporter from the New York Times looking to do a story. And I had already actually told him before he came to me, I said, if you ever need someone to speak out, if you ever have, someone, I'm ready. Like, send them to me. I'll talk. I'll tell them everything. All of everything. so he sent that reporter to me, and we did that whole story. And it was a big deal because it was on the front cover of the New York Times, and it was
huge
before
deal.
was it before or after the Truth Rundown? I can't remember, but the Truth Rundown.
After. Yeah, it was after, but nonetheless, it was
around the same time.
Yeah,
that all this stuff was happening. So then, it took me a little bit longer. And what eventually I think really did it for me was understanding and taking the time to understand L. Ron Hubbard a little bit more, because we are fed like all day, every day, a bunch of lies about this man. And when you don't know their lies and you don't know the truth, and you've only heard all these fake good things for your whole life from the beginning of your life, and you've also experienced maybe some positivity in your life like I had a happy life. Mm-hmm. I didn't have any reason to doubt L. Ron Hubbard's stories. I didn't have any reason to question him. I definitely felt David Miscavige in the church was evil. I knew it. I saw it with my eyes. I saw David Miscavige being evil with my own eyes, but I never saw L. Ron Hubbard being evil. And I read all these beautiful things he wrote. Some of the things he wrote are very beautiful. A lot of them are common sense, but there were nice things. And it was like, okay, the code of honor and some of the stuff that you can go back and read isn't all just gobbledygook. Some of it is actually like halfway decent, right? What my friend Amy used to say, like a clock is right twice a day. I don't know the saying, but there's something.
Oh yes, yeah, that's it. That's it.
A clock is right twice a day. Always right. Clock. A broken clock is always right twice a day. Yeah. So L. Ron Hubbard, whatever. You get the analogy.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any reason to question him, but eventually I learned the truth, right? And it just took time, and it took time for me to kind of decide to look into it a little more and listen. And actually the movie Going Clear really kind of solidified it for me. Like around that time, I was sort of already starting to go, okay, I don't believe in Scientology anymore, but let me learn more about this L. Ron Hubbard dude, because he's the thing, right? The whole thing falls apart if his story falls apart.
Right away.
And
that's exactly right.
Like the whole thing is just bullshit if this man is bullshit. And that's what I had to find out, that he was bullshit. Yeah. And that and what the pieces of his story that really, really finally made me see the light were how he lied about his own family and his own previous wives and his own children. And I'm a mom, and I have 2 children, and everything he writes about the family and the second dynamic, and there's all this bullshit that's not obviously how he truly feels about honoring and respecting and loving each other and the family, and he didn't do that. So he completely disowned one of his daughters, and he completely screwed over his whole family, and he completely screwed over Mary Sue Hubbard and didn't stay loyal to her when she basically fell on her cross for him. And there was just so many pieces to this story of Elin Hubbard and how he lied and manipulated and fucked over his personal family, his wives, his children. And
I mean, the stories on that.
Yeah.
I reread those today. Like, he has 7 children. Okay.
Right.
When I was in Scientology for 27 years, and I had no idea that he had 7 children. None. Zero.
They're just all lies. We're told a completely different story about Elin Hubbard than the truth. And if you believe that story, he's an amazing man, and he's wonderful, and he's this amazing father and an amazing husband and amazing everything. And he just is not. He just is not. And to know the man as a deadbeat dad, and a complete asshole to his wives is like, the truth of that is like, okay, I'm done with this guy. Because that's more important to me than anything is family and your children and your own spouse and like your little your circle. Like you can't keep this together. You can't keep family stuff straight.
And it's like, a lie. Yeah. It's a total lie. And let me just say something, like, because I re-looked at this when I was making my list, which is probably going to be very similar to yours. Yeah, the 7 children, married 3 times crap. But I started like reading the stuff, and like it wasn't just he was a deadbeat dad. I mean, there was like an abduction going on, there was death threats going on, there was attempted everything going on, and he says that this person right here is not his child.
Right.
Okay.
Alexis.
Yes.
Alexis, exactly. And it's just a total denial and just a complete lie. And he was married 3 times. The second person he got married to, he was still married to his first wife when he got married for a year and a half. Year and a half.
And then he just deleted these people from Dianetics. They were originally in the original Dianetics. It was dedicated to the wife and the daughter, who he then later said never existed. He literally just said those people didn't exist. It's not true, but they were in the book. And
there's handwritten stuff with it. Oh, anyway, he's such a liar.
Revisionist history.
and that straight up just denial of the truth. Like it's like the sky is blue. No, the sky is green. Like it literally was just like a flat, straight denial that this person never existed and I was never married to her and that person's not my child. Okay, you're done. You're out of here. Like I don't need any more. That was it. I was like, okay. That once I knew that was, then everything was like, okay, it's all lies. Like the whole thing is a lie because you just lied about your own wife and child. So there's not a single other thing I can believe from you. But it like I sort of described before, it took me a while to even want to question any of that because of the foundation that I had that let me feel it was all good. It was all happy. It was all, there wasn't anything to question. Mm-hmm. And it has a lot to do with my family and my upbringing, and my life was a happy life. And Elin Hubbard was part of it. He was in the circle, in the zone, and there was no trouble with Elin Hubbard being part of, being our guru or whatever. That didn't seem to have caused any trouble until much later when it was like, okay, no, actually this man is a total liar.
Yep.
Total liar.
Absolutely.
Master mariner, not. His naval history, like military fake, totally fake, made up. His, blind and all, all this stuff. It's just everything. It just went crumbling down. And Lawrence Wright did a miraculous research for his book, Going Clear, which he just dug up everything. And that piece of history all compiled into his book, Going Clear, is just such a gem, and really, really important. I want to say one other thing that really got me. Okay. Yeah. Did you ever read the LRH affirmations?
No.
I heard about them, and they're mentioned in another book that was written by Janet Reitman, I think, mentions them in her book.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about them, and Mike and I have heard. Mike has talked to me about them. And
they're online. You
They're
could just
crazy,
say,
right?
or
They're absolutely insane. And these are things that he
they're
says,
disgusting.
yeah.
They're disgusting. And so that gives me a little glimpse into his mind. And also the whole thing of when you look at what his history was building up to Scientology with, the Aleister Crowley and Jack Parsons and everything like that, and what they were into, which is just horrendous. And then Sarge, who worked with R Hubbard at the very end.
Yes,
We
that was
heard
part
his
of it.
story.
And that was in Going
ahead and
Clear.
say
That was in Going Clear, where he basically talked about, towards the end, LRH was pretty crazy. He and we are all here in Scientology thinking that this is the man with all the answers to everything in life. And we're being told that he just voluntarily dropped his body to go off and continue his research. Yes. And everyone swallows this. All the Scientologists are like, okay, he's left us everything and he's this amazing man and he's going off. And but meanwhile, you see the photos of him towards the end of his life, and he's like decrepit. His hair is long. His teeth are disgusting. He's falling apart. He's sick. He's ill. He's a broken man. He was
shooting psych drugs or whatever into his butt, right?
He was on. He was on various pain medications and drugs for his health conditions. I don't even know if it was for psychological reasons. It was for physical reasons, because he was unwell physically. He was falling apart physically. And Sarge, sorry, I get his name mixed up. Sarge talked about how he was given basically LRH was asked him to build a new model of an E-meter where he could hold on to the cans and ground himself somehow.
Like grounding rods.
Grounding rods. That's what it was. And basically what Sarge said was that he thought that LRH wanted to kind of use this as a way to sort of end his life, sort of. And
it was supposed to shock him so that he had stubborn BTs that wouldn't blow. And so he wanted an E-meter that would give a shock enough that,
it would eliminate all the BTs, but basically that would also kind of kill him and end his life. And so Sarge didn't want to do that because Sarge was very loyal to him and loved him very much. And so he made an E-meter that would just give him a bit of a jolt, but not kill him. Because he didn't want to be the one that killed L. Ron Hubbard. So he gave him the E-meter, and he said LRH used it once and got a bit of a jolt and kind of put it to the side and never used it again. And of course, I'm paraphrasing all of this from what I remember.
That's exactly. We heard him say that.
Yeah. And that was an indicator of how crazy he was. And none of us, no true blue Scientologist knows any of this. They're not being told anything like this. They're not seeing what he looks like. Those pictures that we can now see, we are only shown the most beautiful, pristine, curated photos of L. Ron Hubbard with his special little ascot, whatever the hell. And
in fact, I remember the line that was pushed around at the base is those photos that are online. They were photoshopped, when in actual fact, the complete reverse is true.
Right.
We only saw the ones that they wanted us to see after they'd been doctored beyond belief.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. So it just takes time. It takes time when your whole life is based on one philosophy, and that's why people like my mom and dad, probably will never leave. My mom will probably never leave, because how many years she has invested into this and how dedicated they are. And it's like very hard to admit you were wrong and to actually question it. And even when there were times when I was in Scientology, I remember one time kind of having doubts about being in the Sea Org, little tiny doubts. And it was fear connected to the doubt, right? Yeah. There's a fear of like, did I just doubt my religion? Did I just fucking do that? Like, what is going on? I can't believe I doubted it. Like, and you handle yourself. You train yourself to go, no, go, gone.
That's right.
Like that thought is removed and we are moving forward, like.
And when you're an OT, you go, that was some BT.
Right.
Yeah.
And even as a child, I have a very distinct memory. I was at a park with some friends and it was kind of dark and getting dark. And I was just sitting there by myself as a kid thinking, what if Scientology, when you're a kid, you're like, you think all kinds of what if things. Kids are the greatest. Kids come up with all the greatest, like, what if this and what if that? And it wasn't even like, I hadn't even done anything in Scientology really to have this, but I just had this thought, what if Scientology is a bunch of bullshit? Kind of like the Easter Bunny and, whatever, like, what if it's just like everything else in the world, just some made up thing? And I was like, no, it couldn't be. I was a kid. I was a child, like just daydreaming about things, thinking, what if Scientology is not really true? And, because you're told a lot of things as a kid that you later find out aren't true, like the Easter Bunny, right?
Yes, completely.
And you're like, these are just lies. People just lie to you as a kid. And I'm like, well, maybe Scientology's a lie too. And I handled myself as a kid. I just handled that real quick and just, nope, just put that away, gone. We're carrying on. This is the path we're on, and we're not going to stray from it. And
that to me, and to me, that's where the indoctrination in Scientology is wicked genius, in that it keeps you in, like you said, it gets you to do the own work on yourself. Like, and I was talking about this the other day, just about the word blow. Like, we use the word escape because that's what it is. But the word blow has built into it that you're a bad person. Right. And if you even think about trying to get out, you think you're a bad person. So to me, that the indoctrination is a large part of it. And then the fear and leverage of the what it's going to impact your family if you decide you're never going to believe that again. It's kind of a double-edged sword, quite literally.
So, but for me, it's kind of like, well, I already lost my family, right? I lost my family. I lost everything. Why am I still holding on to this religion, right? Yeah. And like, I lost my mom, dad, and my brother and sister and all my friends. I'm declared, but I still believe in Scientology. And that was because of that foundation, right? And at that time, you're also told, like, you when you truly believe in it and you truly bought into it so much for your whole life, you believe this is your salvation. You believe you have to go up this bridge and do these steps to become the happiest version of yourself, to become the freest version of yourself. And until you've had the chance to do it, it's still this mystery. It's still this mystery of like, what if all this cool stuff on the OT levels is going to be amazing and I'm going to become this amazing superhuman and it's going to be so fantastic? Let me do it. I haven't done it yet, so I can't say it's a bad thing. By the time I left the Sea Org and Scientology, I was only grade 4 completion, which is very low on the bridge to total freedom. I had not gone clear. I had not done any OT levels. I'd been a Sea Org member for almost 15 years, gotten almost no auditing, which is apparently the goal of the Scientology world, is to get everybody up the bridge. But the little Sea Org members don't get any of that. They just work really hard. Yep. And so I still wanted to know. What is it? What's the big secret? What's the big magic that my parents, who I trusted and loved and treasured with my whole heart, were so dedicated to for their whole life? They worked so hard. They spent every penny on this thing, and they talked about it night and day. And my dad would pick us up from school, and R Hubbard's lectures would be playing in the car. And I'm like, wow, this man must be the smartest man in the world, because my dad listens to him all day long, and I have to know what he's saying, and I need to know about it. And that was in me. That was still in me from when I left. Like, I still don't know the answer. What is this magical stuff? Right? What is this magical stuff that I was raised to believe is so beautiful and amazing, and it's going to make me the best person in the world? I got to find out.
I know they have this carrot always hanging out in front of you, and it's always something else, and you can't. It's confidential, so you can't know ahead of time. Yep. So you think with all of these magical abilities gained per the grade chart, the bridge to total freedom, like amnesia on the whole track, you clear away amnesia on the whole track, which means you can remember everything, or being able to operate outside your body willingly and at cause. You can do that. I can just take off. So these sound really like amazing, and if it's true, you want it. Yeah. And anyway, each step as I went, I was like, is this it?
Yeah. And obviously too, though, we believe that those things might be possible, even though we never saw any of them to
with
be
ourselves.
Actually the case.
And you hear these amazing success stories from people, standing up
Yes.
at graduation or put in the magazines or whatever, like, wow, maybe it's just me that isn't, achieving that. Maybe I'm a no case gainer.
Yeah.
And I remember at the Int base sitting at a staff briefing, outside at the ship. Remember out there, and it was an event, and we were having the event there, and a huge picture of L. Ron Hubbard, and they're saying all these things. And I remember thinking for the very first time, I wonder if all of this is bull crap. I wonder if all of this is just not true. Now, being an Int management in an international position, like to have that kind of thought is just unheard of.
Yeah.
But I had done my OT levels and it didn't do all those things. And now here I was getting this PR puff piece again. And I'm looking at the picture of L. Ron Hubbard thinking, what if this is just all a freaking lie?
Yeah. And it's so crazy that, like, I'm sure the three of us, all of us, you, me, Amy, just said the exact moment when we had a thought like that. You remember it. You remember exactly where you were, how you felt, because it was so taboo. And it was so taboo. Yeah. You weren't allowed to have those thoughts. So like, there was no way you were going to forget the moment you had that thought.
And there was also no way you were going to ever tell anybody you had that thought.
Oh no. It was a BT.
Yeah, no. And it truly is like the Wizard of Oz. Like, you believe you're on the yellow brick road and you're going to this amazing place, Oz, and you're going to find the wizard and he's going to give you everything you ever wanted. Yes. And when you get there and you pull back the curtain, it's this little fat, ugly man who doesn't have anything. And he just and it's L. Ron Hubbard. You know what I mean? It's like, there's just nothing. It's just pull back the curtain and like, oh, this is it? And you're just lying to us and telling us all these bullshit stories. I thought we were on the yellow brick road and I'm like, got my little Toto dog and this is going to be fun. And, it took a while to get there and it's the same for a lot of cults, and you listen to the other people, the NXIVM people and the other people that leave cults and they have the same kind of story. We're not like necessarily stupid people because of that, especially some of us who were raised in it. Like all three of us were. You were born into it. You were bred and groomed and your life was made to be this way. Oop, let me not knock off my microphone. So, it's just, I have so much compassion for anybody who's ever been part of a cult and who made it out, because it's not easy to break through the thought control and the indoctrination and the brainwashing that goes on for years and years and years. So you cannot think straight and all you can think is this one way.
Yeah. Even setting aside the belief piece of it, I think another piece of it is the loyalty. Like you are part of a group and those people think everybody knows how the other person thinks, and there is a loyalty element there that is really
such a good
hard
point, Claire,
to break away from. Yeah.
You don't want to dishonor your commitment. You make a commitment like to the cause, and it's a good cause the way it's written.
Right. Yeah. And we're all the three of us, like kind, warm, compassionate people. You make friends. You make close friends. It's like if I was to say to you right now, Claire, Amy, I'm abandoning you. I'm going back to the church. It's like, what? Like that's
I'll be right over.
Be on the next plane, Christie.
But that's how you feel when you leave. That's how you feel. You're leaving these amazing, beautiful people, because a lot of us were friends. We were close. We like made these strong connections. I remember routing out. I had to route out. You guys, got to blow, which is kind of nice in some ways. I'm not comparing anything, but seriously, routing out sucks because you are on the base being looked at. You're routing out properly through the routing form, just so I can explain.
I had to do that too, by the way.
Oh, you did.
Months.
No, you're right.
Under watch for 2 months.
No, you did, Amy. So you know what I'm talking about.
And the end result of that is to make you stay, by the way, too.
But it's horrible. You're treated like shit. Horrible. You're totally humiliated. You're totally embarrassed. You are basically being walked around like a criminal in a jumpsuit that's going to prison, all day long, as if you have handcuffs around your hands, like being marched around for months while you're getting sec checked so that everyone can look down on you and tell you that you're this horrible, horrible person, so that hopefully you change your mind and you decide to come back. And I did that for 2.5 months while pregnant, trying to like just hold it together. You can do this. You can get through this 2.5 months of torture so that you can get out. And that 2.5 months of like the loyalty, Claire, that's where you're every day seeing all these people and you're seeing them a day in and day out that you loved and that you shared all these moments with and who you were friends with and who you cared about. And now you're just saying, fuck you, I'm leaving. And that's how they make you feel, like you're just a big asshole that's abandoning these most precious, important people. And the loyalty factor is
the technology.
Massive.
Yeah. The technology also says that the only reason you would want to do that is because you have committed crimes or overts and withholds is what they call it. So yeah, you've done something negative against them. So that's why they're looking so down on you. You're abandoning us because of your crimes. Just get off your crimes. Just come clean.
I was so afraid they were going to handle me. That's why I waited so long. I was pregnant for about 2 months before I said a word. I, number one, didn't want to have the abortion conversation and at all. And number two, I was just like, this is going to be a terrible experience. This is not going to be easy. And I was, so anyway, the loyalty factor, Claire, you're so spot on that. So there's this thing, and I was like a griefy mess when I left too, with the sadness of leaving mixed into the fact I don't want to be here anymore, but I'm also really sad and my heart hurts that I'm leaving. It's so weird. Like, what a weird mixture of emotions. I was so griefy that they pulled me back in after I completed my sec check because I was pregnant, and they wanted to give me an extra auditing session where they gave me an L1C. No one gets an L1C when they leave. An L1C is a special list you get when you have a loss. Yes. When you feel sad, when something sad happens, it's a list they run on you in session to make you feel better so you can get off all the charge, all the upset for the loss. Mm-hmm. I swear to God, no one gets this list when they leave the steward, but they gave it to me because I was so sad. I was crying and I was like, but also get me the fuck out of here. It was anyway, a little neurotic.
You weren't going to be declared, right? You were doing all of that to not get declared.
I did all of that
your family
to avoid getting declared because my parents and my brother and sister and Chris, my ex-husband's whole family, was still in Scientology. And we remained, in good standing for a few years until we eventually, we could have just blown. I wish we would have blown because in the end it all was for naught. But
stupid idiots. I did 2.5 months of being under guard and, security checks, 12 hours a day type, heavy manual labor, separated from Matt, always worried if he was being handled to stay.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Then we did all that so that I didn't get disconnected from my Scientology family. And then on the way out, they handed me an SP declare, suppress a person declare. And said, it's just, you're on your way to Seattle. Just don't go see your family. What a bunch of asses.
That's just not that's evil.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it happened because it forced the issue.
Yeah. I don't think any of us would be here today if we hadn't lived our respective experiences. I have no regrets.
Yeah. The other thing that was as a really, really super important part of the whole thing was me studying about cults and what a cult is and what makes up a cult and everything. So I studied about, Jim Jones. I mean, I was like, oh my God, the comparisons are outrageous. And then I read books on combating cult mind control by Stephen Hassan. And the information control was the biggest revelation to me, that Scientology doesn't let you have a telephone, doesn't let you, write without security reading your stuff, doesn't let you, on the internet. I was so cut off from the world. I couldn't even tell you who the president was. Yeah. And so it's only what they tell you, and that's all you can know. And so that really does keep you in.
It's funny. One of the first, when I started, obviously I escaped and was declared a suppressive almost immediately. So my family disconnected and all that, but still I was in this turmoil. Like, I know I don't believe in this anymore, but how do I sort out my mindset? And I was like, oh, well, I know. What's true for you is what's true. So I went on eBay and ordered Madman or Messiah and Bareface Messiah by Russell Miller. And I was just like, I can read a book and I can decide for myself. I'm going to apply just get all the information I can. And that was at least very, very helpful to start the process of
So
walking
helpful.
all that programming back.
Mm-hmm.
So helpful.
Wow.
I'm still to this day, Amy, any single time any TV show comes on that's cult genre, I'm like, put it on. I want to watch.
Yeah.
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 I'm like,
Completely.
I just want to, because it's helpful. It's reaffirming. It makes you feel, number one, like you're not alone, and number two, it's just, it reaffirms your own understanding of reality of how these cults work. Every time any news story comes on about a cult, I will watch it. And it's not too triggering. I'm like, put that shit on. I want to eat it up because it's good. It's good to get it's just the comparisons are so dramatic every single time.
And good, normal people can get trapped just as easily as anybody else. It's not some big mystery. We're human. We want to help people and we want things to be better.
Right.
But unfortunately, when you start on the path of Scientology, especially for us being born into it, you don't know, you don't have context, you don't have perspective. Your whole life revolves around it. So it's just more challenging. Anyway.
Yeah. And I know that this is a tricky thing, but some of the stuff, like some of the auditing, some of the stuff is simple enough. You can get some gains in the beginning. It's not harmful, right? It's not, there's little easy, processes that they run on you. And you might go like, oh, that made me feel a little bit better. And you kind of start out very light. It's all very light and friendly. And it's the communication course. And it's this and it's that. And all the stuff in the beginning is some sort of, it's a little bit helpful, or maybe some of it's good. So, it's not too bad, basically. You can really do a lot of these introductory services and not really be shocked by anything or think anything's horrible and get kind of sucked into it.
Yeah.
Also, the emailer sometimes would read on something, that you think, oh, yeah, that's what I was thinking, so you would get that too. And I remember just a few little sessions where I was really upset that somebody yelled at me. And then, so I was asked if I ever did something similar to that. And when I spotted that, I wasn't upset anymore. So I thought, oh, this is really working,
Right.
The just way somebody couched it recently that I thought was pretty spot on is if you have a real life human in front of you listening to you and just having a conversation, there's some benefit to that. Just like there is in psychology, psychiatry,
exactly.
Just having a person listen and talk to you has value in any context. And that's not unique to Scientology at all.
Exactly.
That's why I love you ladies so much too.
Yeah.
Honestly, really.
And some of it is having a person really listen. Like some of it is the person sitting there is actually listening to listen and hear you and to say, I heard what you said. And some of that can be beneficial. Some of it is, and that's exactly what it is. So you get some of that in the early stages of it that doesn't hurt, that actually helps maybe a little bit. And you confuse that with, this is all good. This is so far. This is all we're all doing great. We're all doing great until you're not, right? And it takes a while to get there because, especially with the other foundation. Like for me, that other foundation really, really built it all up as this really is great. This really is good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, my favorite analogy of especially the OT levels is and always will be the Emperor's New Clothes. And that's the same as the Wizard of Oz piece that you're talking about, the fat old man is walking around butt naked and everyone's like, look at his amazing clothes.
Right. I know.
Crazy.
Oh boy.
Should we should we pause at this moment and do a giveaway?
And do a giveaway? Yeah.
I was thinking, are we going to do questions?
Yes, we should do questions.
We'll do that too.
We don't want to run too late. Christy and I have both had a long week already. I'm sure you have too, Amy. Gosh darn, you did a 2.5 hour solo on Sunday. Wow.
But let's see, so now I have this really cool thing that I'm going to try, which is a giveaway tool. And let me tell you how that works, everybody. So let's just say, let's give away one of my books and we'll start with that one. So what you have to do is, and I'll share my screen and everyone is going to type in, let's see, I have to open this up so I can see. Okay. So what you got to do in the chat, I have to go so I can see the chat. Let me go over here.
Bear with us,
Oh my
folks.
gosh, everyone's.
Amy always likes to push us outside of our comfort zone with new tools and tricks, and we love her for that.
Try it. We're going to try it. I have to be able to share my screen. But what you have to say in the chat is one word, pick me, Pickme, pick me.
Okay.
Start saying that, and then I will share the screen. So everyone say, pick me. And I'll add this on. And so everyone
There you
say,
go.
pick me. There's
They're
only
catching on.
Good. Now they're going.
No space.
So
pick me, all one word.
Pick me, all one word. And then now I'm going to do it. And it's going to pick somebody.
Rainbow. Oh, oopsies. There we go.
Photo 29
That's awesome.
is the winner.
Yes, that's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, so that's the thing. It takes everyone who put that in, and it doesn't duplicate. So we could do a bunch of them, and it won't do the same person. And
nice.
You're gonna have to teach me how to do that on the Mike Rinder channel.
Yes, it's really fun. And so now,
is that a StreamYard feature or a different?
It's a StreamYard. StreamYard.
Oh,
awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, you just go to StreamYard.com/giveaway, and then it tells you what to do.
Can you make
really
it your own word?
Yeah,
does it have to be pick me?
No, it can be any word.
Oh, nice.
I said pick me because if I said book me and you wanted to give away a sweatshirt, so I just made it pick me so it could be generic,
Wow, that's awesome. I love it.
Plus it won't pick somebody that's saying, like who writes those words together? Nobody. So that way they'll know that they're asking for a book.
PA Girl 913 just commented, pick her. That's funny. Oh, boy.
This one says, whoops, I'm sorry. Okay. Over.
There you go. Salty Beach Girl Lori in the house.
Just commented, Amy,
that's funny.
What an innovator you are, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, what an innovator you are on the interweb.
Oh boy. But anyway, no, I saw that and I thought, oh, let's use it because we do these dumb countdowns and stuff and can't stop the chat. Yeah. Oh, nice. Anyway, did you have something that you wanted to do a giveaway, or do we want to go do that later?
We'll do a merch giveaway from the Blown for Good merch store, whatever you like. We have we have a bunch of new merch. My personal favorite is the Claire Bear merch. Thank you, Clara.
Okay, so we're gonna get people in there saying pick me again, and I'm gonna do. Okay, it's got 101, so I'm doing a drawing right now. It's got 101 people who have said, pick me.
Nice.
So I got to add it to the screen. Sorry. There we go.
There we go. Prod by Lex. Okay. All right. So Prod by Lex, please go to our merch store, pick what you would like. Send me an email, claire@blownforgood.com with the link to the item, and I will send you a giveaway link.
That worked great.
Yay.
I'm so happy with that. Yay. Yay.
So now should we do questions and then call it a night?
Sure. Okay. So I started this because Susie Q says she's waiting for her book. So if you could just email me because I don't know your name and address and I want to look it up to make sure that it's on the way and everything like that. So amy@scobie-publishing.com.
Yes.
And someone's
hello from Argentina.
Wow. Awesome.
Dave Wheelhauer. You three ladies have such wonderful grace and class. The way you hold yourselves and the class you exude is exemplary. Proud of all three of you.
Wow.
Thank you, Dave.
Very kind.
Yes. Thank you,
kind
Dave.
comment.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Michelle Carpenter, imminent trouble source, spreading the love around. Thank you, Michelle. We appreciate you being here.
Imminent trouble source.
I got in trouble last night because Michelle said she was sorry for killing me in the werewolf game. So then I explained it and then people were like, oh, way to blow it. I'm like, well, she said she killed me. Sorry, my bad.
That is funny.
OM22, all love from Ireland. Una's in the house. Oh my gosh, I love this. Una was
What's
my
Una's?
grandmother's name.
Oh,
And yeah, so at least one Una, I'm not sure if it was this Una, but one of them emailed me from Ireland and just was like, she had heard me talk about my grandmother, who was the best part of my childhood, named
Yes.
Una. Anyway, yeah.
that's so
Oh,
sweet.
that's so
Fun
nice.
fact.
See, look at these people in the chat that remember little important things like that and bring
Yes.
them up, and my root beer floats and whatever. I mean, they just make this so lovely and wonderful.
Yes, definitely. Michelle Carpenter, again, a little for Christie, Xenu's Princess Warrior.
Thank you,
Nice.
Michelle. So sweet.
Xenu's Princess Warrior.
Michelle Carpenter again. Thank you, ladies, for all you do. Thank you, Michelle, for all you do.
Thank you.
Stacy Y in the house. Osa can't keep you quiet. Keep on, good-hearted ladies. Yes, indeed. Don't
No, they
hate
cannot.
that?
Yes, they
Yep.
cannot keep us quiet.
Stacy Y, so good to see more of Mike's better half. Yay. We love Christie so much.
Yes. Very lucky of us.
My sister from another mister, my dancing partner, and yes, all of the rest of it.
Definitely the dancing partner.
Yes, we've had so much fun. Oh my gosh, it makes me laugh just thinking about some certain moments. Helena and Hiddle. Mike as a bunch of grapes with 10 out of 10.
Yes. he rocked those costumes, no matter how hard he tries to poop them. Man, he rocked them with a bold smile.
Nice.
Oh my God. I had not seen the grapes until last night's live.
It was amazing.
Oh, it was amazing.
My favorite is still Lord and Lady Xenu, but the grapes was absolutely hilarious.
Yes.
And like hats off to you, Christie. Yeah. I've made Mark dress up a few times. One of them in particular, he's never forgiven me for.
Oh,
so yeah, he's probably fuming right now. He's like he
just
gets his blood pressure goes up every time I even mention it.
Are you going to tell us what it was?
Well, so our neighbors, so we do a Christmas kids gift exchange, and it started as like a ugly Christmas sweater, and then a few people started pushing a little further and further than that. So last year I made Mark dress up as Santa, and I was Mrs. Santa.
That's great.
And we were the only people in full costume, and he really wasn't feeling the Santa vibe, even though the children, by the way, whose party it was for, were thrilled.
Then, right?
Oh boy, God. I have not heard the end of it. So yeah.
That is hilarious. It cracks me up just to think about it.
Yep. He was Austin Powers on Saturday. Stacy Y, you all keep fighting harder than they can keep the abuses silent. Outstanding. You'd think Scientology would figure it out if they were just nicer. Duh. Yeah, you'd think. But
yeah.
But they're not.
It's not in their DNA.
They're just robots. So that's why we're here. That's where we come in. We've been put on a path, and here we are.
Yeah, that's right.
Aaron Gebhardt got my fake Navy Davy. When I opened the box in front of my 9 and 10-year-old girls, they both simultaneously said, "Mom, do not hide that in my room. That thing is creepy." LOL. Yes, it is.
It's not for children.
No,
it's the dead eyes.
I was joking one time, being like, "Yeah, if your kids misbehave, when the elf on the shelf comes, the Navy Davy can come instead the next day." he's the elf police officer. Except I don't want to. That's a bad thing to say about a police officer, because police officers are generally good, and Davy is not generally good.
No, exactly. I got them all dressed up on my shelf behind me one of the things that were crocheted.
Oh, nice. John Zatowski in the house. Mike said he doesn't like fudge, but does Christie and the boys want fudge?
I would love some fudge.
Nice. Oh yeah. Have you seen the box, Christie?
I've heard about this famous fudge, but I have not seen the box.
Okay. I gotta tell you. Okay, so I sent it was my stepmom's birthday, so I sent her some fudge from Uranus. as her
Missouri.
birthday gift. So she thought that was hilarious. But we got some from John, right? So I had a little bit for my birthday, and there was another whole little log and stuff. And I decided I was going to start dieting for my birthday. I'm 60. It's about time I should start. And so I noticed that all the fudge is gone. And I thought, oh, Matt probably, maybe chucked it or something because like we're supposed to be dieting. And I said, what happened to the fudge? He says, I ate it. I said that entire log. Good support. That's how
Way
you
to
diet.
handle the hell out of it, Matt.
Yeah, he took care of that. Diet's under control, Amy. No fudge cravings for you.
I know. I noticed that one piece was missing, so I was like, "Hey, Grayson, do you know what happened?" And he's like, "Yeah, I took it." I'm like, "You ate the whole thing?" He's like, "No, it's in my room." I'm like, "Oh my goodness."
He's hiding it though. That's like self-preservation activity.
Yeah, in a house with 4 boys, that's not uncommon.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Dr. Shun Lei. I hope I said that right. Dr. X, last live for a while, marking purgatory. Glad it's with the hashtag Aftermath Foundation Beauties. Aw, good luck with IAS fundraiser. Hope you raise heaps of money. So glad you guys were able to leave the lies behind. You all are beautiful souls. Well, you are too. So thank you for being here.
You are. Thank you so much.
Yes. Substance use disorder nurse. Why didn't one of L. Ron Hubbard's children didn't take over Scientology? How did DM become president? Oh, yeah. By careful manipulation and systematically undermining and removing the entire Hubbard family from any position of power. That's my 5-second answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anyone else too. And anyone else. The Hubbard family and any other person or people that were loyal to Hubbard were removed as well.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it says like why didn't one of L. Ron Hubbard's children take over Scientology? So Suzette's out. I don't know if she's considers herself a Scientologist anymore. She works with people who are declared, so I doubt it.
Arthur is out.
He's been out. He's been out since I was a teenager.
Yeah, Diana is the only one who remains in the Sea organization, and David Miscavige was so brutal to Diana, like literally,
she was a threat to
her
him
systematically and consistently. Yeah.
Yeah. She was interesting to work with.
Yeah,
she would fly off the handle. Really fly off the handle sometimes. Oh my gosh. But anyway, she wouldn't be capable of taking it over anyway.
No.
She's just not capable of it. She's just too much of an emotional mess, really.
Yeah.
Actually.
Love it. Question. What does at cause mean? Great question.
Oh yeah, because we were talking about going up the bridge and becoming at cause over life.
Yes.
Wow, is that not a word?
I mean, it just there's a word. To be causative is a regular word, I believe.
Okay.
But in Scientology, at cause means that you have complete control over your being, yourself, your emotions, your environment, the people in your lives, your entire orbit. You have complete control over that is what I would say a Scientologist means when they say they are at cause.
At cause.
We could get deep in the weeds on elaborations of that.
Well, and just the opposite would be to be at effect. So things are happening to you and you're not controlling them. So when you're at effect, the world is a mess and you have no control. When you're at cause, you are the driver of your life, basically.
Yes, exactly.
And it's not just your life. When you get up to OT, 5, you're supposed to be at cause over life, matter, energy, space, and time, and all this stuff, right? So it's not just your orbit; it's other people's orbits too that you're responsible for.
Yes.
Anyway, that's being at cause. And Sea Org members are supposed to be at cause, even if you didn't do the OT levels. You're just supposed to be it because you've existed on the time track for millions of years, and so you've done it all. So you need to start acting like it.
Yep. Whether you are or not, fake it till you make it. Vanessa Wimberry. Hi, Christie. I was so happy to hear the good news about Mike's treatment. I had no idea what you both were going through. I cried several times watching that update. Love and light to you both.
So nice. Thank you, Vanessa. Very
right.
sweet, very kind.
Yes.
Yes.
Vanessa Wimberry again. And thank you, Amy, for everything you do. I really appreciated your book and looking forward to the next one. Awesome.
Yay. Thank you, Vanessa.
Free Xenu Project of Farsec. If it walks like a cult and talks like a cult, oh, look at that. He's 413. Okie dokie.
The leader of a cult.
I'm wondering if Vanessa is the Vanessa that recently emailed us.
I was wondering the same thing.
If it is, hi, Vanessa.
Yes. And if it isn't, hi, Vanessa.
Hi, Vanessa. Because if it is, then I know that Vanessa. So hi, if I know you, and if I don't know you, hi.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. I don't think I know who it is.
But there are so many people coming out of the woodwork. I had somebody email me today that I haven't talked to in almost 40 years. Crazy. Yeah. The suppressive pups. Question. How do they information control public Scientologists? Is it a concern for them?
Events.
Yep. And yes, they do. I think what they mean is like, how do they stop a Scientologist, for example, Googling David Miscavige beats people as an example. And it is definitely a concern for them because the amount of information publicly available about Scientology at the tip of anyone's fingers on the internet now is a huge problem and has completely changed the course of Scientology, in my opinion. The mechanisms.
Ethics department, like there's a department of ethics in the Church of Scientology. So when you break the rules and it gets discovered, you get sent to ethics and you get handled. So if you want to stay a member and stay in good standing and continue to do services and do auditing and do training, you have to follow the rules. Because eventually it'll be discovered, these things that you're doing when you're looking online and Googling and all of this, and you'll get found out and you'll get either handled or kicked out or whatever will happen. And that department is how they control you because you know the rules. So if you want to stay in, you got to follow them.
And not only that, any handlings that are done, you're going to have to pay large sums of money for those handlings. Yep. So it's a hot mess.
Right. So maybe don't do those bad things so you don't have to spend more money.
Yeah. That's what
they start to think,
Yes.
One thing I heard when I was in, and I don't know if it was ever implemented or not, but I think it was Sherry Murphy in the Fields Executive International area was in coordination, maybe with OSA. I don't know. I would have to ask Mike. But there was going to be a software thing that all public Scientologists.
Yeah, that was the net.
Oh, you heard this too?
Yeah, no, I remember it. David Bloomberg announced it at an event, and it was a software installed on every Scientologist computer at the time.
But they didn't understand that what. Yes. So
we weren't told. We weren't told
exactly
that was what was happening. So it was this whole I'm a Scientologist campaign, and everybody was basically sent something where they had to like put a little CD in their computer or whatever, create their profile that was I'm a Scientologist, and they could put information about themselves. But little did they know that little CD that they were sticking in their computer was also blocking their computer from being able to access
any words.
Negative words and content about Scientology, but the Scientologists weren't told that that's what was on there. They were this is a fun campaign and we're all going to promote Scientology. Put this thing in your computer. And
it was really run.
I mean, they could have gotten in big trouble for that.
Yep. Yeah. So that's a good way of information control is making your computer not block words. So, and I don't know if it would alert them if somebody was like doing a little search action on, certain things. I don't know, but that certainly was for the purpose of controlling them.
Yep. Completely. George Massey, the affirmations are the rantings of a madman and expose LRH as a complete degraded fraud. And he wrote them a few years before Dianetics.
Exactly. Anyway, they're on Wikipedia, his rantings. So anyone could look those up. It's just, I mean, it just gives a little glimpse into his mind. What?
I said, fun times. Go spend.
Cool story, bro.
Take it from us. Take it from us.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Check it
Take
out.
it from us.
Salty beach girl Laurie in the house. I feel like you end up where you belong, and what beautiful lives you all have now. Friends, family, travel, work. Amazing ladies all. Yes, I completely agree with you.
I love that comment. Thank you.
I do too. Yancey Kin. Christie is a great addition to SPTV. Team Rinder. Yay.
Rinder.
Yes. Yay.
We agree.
I feel so welcome.
Yay.
Yes,
You
should.
are welcome,
yes.
Christie. We
love
you.
Yes.
Love you too.
And Battles. Question. Do you think having close relationships with strong men who are kind of rebels helped you get out and be so normal once you were out? Definitely yes for me. Definitely.
It's a yes for me.
It's a yes for me too. Even my ex, I'll even count him in there.
Yeah.
He was a rebel, and he's the one that helped me leave. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
That's for sure.
Thank you, Mike.
Yes.
Yeah,
thank you, Mark.
And thank you, Matt. And
thank you
Matt.
for being blown for good before I was ready. That's what I needed.
Yeah.
Same with Chris. I mean, it was the same. He was ready. He was like, he was dragging me along. So yeah. It worked out.
Fantastic. It's so important. Anyway, so much
Libby
I could say about
Apston, I love each of you so much, but together you are a force. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Watch out, world.
Yeah. Clara in the house, just to thank you for sharing your stories with us. Tons of love from Dalton and I. Awesome. And congratulations to you both. We love you.
Look what's coming up.
Mike Rinder. Amy,
Mike.
What an innovator you are on the interwebs. I know. Amazing.
So amazing. Amy's got this whole thing taken care of.
Yes, indeed.
I got to find out what Mark had balloons coming up, so that's my next find.
Yeah,
I got to figure out.
He's going to show me what the setting is.
And that little thing on the bottom, like his little CNN running news thing at the bottom. What do you call those?
I know how to do that. I know.
Ticker,
I'll show you.
The ticker banner.
It's a ticker.
Banner.
I'll show you.
News banner.
There you go.
Here.
That's
There
amazing.
This one says, subscribe to each of our channels, Queen BSP, Blown for Good, and Mike Rinder for continued exposure of the Scientology cult.
Yay.
And then you can keep it going the whole time or hide it or whatever. Yeah.
Nice.
And then let's see.
I'm impressed, Amy.
Yes, me
Good.
too.
I'm having fun creating. It's fun.
You're
Here's
doing a
another
good
one
job.
from Mike. He says, if I do pick me in all caps, does it work better? Yes. Emphasize it. Emphasize it.
That's funny. Not a sheeple. So happy to see you three together. My bucket hat shipped today. Yay! That's a Claire Bear. That's the Claire Bear bucket hat I showed you last week, Amy.
I need a Claire Bear
those.
bucket hat.
Yeah, I'll send you one.
Amy and I are like, we want one.
Yes, okay. I've got
They're
you
super
covered.
cute.
Don't worry about it. I'm making a note right now. I got you covered.
They're super cute. Okay. And then
Xenu, you're a homeboy. Oh, hey, tell Mark he is welcome for the BTs. Oh, wow. Mark as Santa? Yeah, it was amazing. I know he wasn't a...
He should be proud.
I know. I was proud. I was like, look at you, honey. You're amazing. And he's like, this is not a costume party.
oh,
we won the award.
We won the award. I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to get mad in that. No, I would not. Yeah, you got the award because nobody else was doing it.
Amy, it kind of sounds like you're siding with Mark here now.
Amy.
Now, wait a minute.
Amy, zip it.
Yeah.
You're on our team, Amy.
So funny. You know, Matt is super funny. He's super funny. Like he doesn't do costumes and he doesn't do dress up. Like if there's something that needs,
just send him over to me and Claire. We'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Is it, will you? Because I'm telling you, like he doesn't own anything. And if somebody says wedding, he is like running the other direction. It doesn't matter what. It's just like,
I'm joking. We'll
so
leave Matt alone.
Yes. We will. It's all good.
You know, we'll drag him somewhere one of these days. Whoops. Okay, so let's see.
Abigail S. What a wholesome story, Christie, compared to others I've heard. Thank you for all you do, especially to support Mike. P.S. Saturday is a busy day. Scientology Protest in LA, 1 to 4 Eastern time. I thought it was Pacific time, but all good.
It is
Zach's,
Pacific. It's
okay.
It's Pacific.
Yep. Zach's fundraiser live stream, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Awesome. Thank you, Abigail.
Thank you,
Yes.
Abigail.
Everyone's going to be real busy.
Yep. Sumaya, wish you and Mark had at least one girl. The world needs a real life Clara Barra mini me. Baby Headley number 4. I know. You know what? That's a long story for another day. The short version is if I had another baby, I'd end up with 4 boys and no husband. It's a joke. Of course, that's
what
not
Mark
real.
always says. Like,
I know. I say that. It just
answer.
ends the conversation. Like, you know what? We're good. I'm too old to have another baby.
You're gonna try for a girl, and he goes, "We did try 3 times, and we got boys 3 times. We tried."
Yeah, I know.
I can hear his voice.
I know. I would have loved to have a girl, but it's okay.
Me too. I would have loved it too.
A daughter will appear a different way. Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
You guys got to have kids.
I know, Amy.
Yes,
but it's so fun. It's so fun that I get to enjoy your kids.
Yes, exactly. Free Xenu project of Farsec. Claire, I'll get you those pictures of Puppet Boy Elf and Mike Bobblehead in front of the Chicago org this weekend. Nice. I'll look forward to seeing those. Thank you. I already have a folder I'm populating of all the Davy Elf pictures that people have been sending in. So there you go.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
And the other thing I was going to say is, when I was talking about your kids, Matt keeps bringing up it's perfect fishing.
Yes, no, we definitely have that on the agenda. Full on. Yes, very definitely.
Very soon.
Yes.
That would be amazing. So shall we do another giveaway?
Yes. That's all. We finished up the comments. So this is the final giveaway of the night before we all bade you farewell and wish you a wonderful evening.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to put this on. It'll show the last winner, but then it'll scroll again. Okay. So everyone needs to say, pick me.
Yep.
And I'll go in here. So that was the winner of the last one. So I'm going to draw it again. So everybody say, pick me, pick me.
See,
you can do it in caps.
They learned quickly. They're doing it great.
Oh,
there we go.
Purple Groovy 69.
What were we giving away this time? I forgot to ask.
Oh, yeah. Whatever you want, Purple Groovy, you get.
There you go.
That's what you
either Blown for Good, Amy's book, and something from the merch store. That works, right? Yes. Amy, you're good with that?
It totally works.
Mike just said she won one of his signed books. Are you saying that we are giving that to her, Mike? Or
I think he's meaning she already won.
Oh, she won one.
I think that's what he means. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and she has one of my books too.
So we'll have to give her something else.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe from the merch store.
Yeah, there you go.
She can get a Mike bobblehead or something.
Yep, or an SP bracelet, or a Davy Elf. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, that's right.
So many options.
Okay, so
yes.
So Purple Groovy, you get to do that. Okay, so now I'm going to do my book. So if you don't have my book, or if you want my book, then write "pick me" and write it all caps. Go. And I'm going to do a draw again. Counting down.
I like how it slows. There we go.
Yes. Winner, Gail Carney. Congratulations. So send me an email, amy@scoby-publishing.com with your contact information, and I will send you my book signed by myself and my husband. Yes.
Awesome.
And yes. So all I have to say is, again, subscribe to each one of our channels if you haven't subscribed, like this video, and what else? Share it, right?
Yep. And thank you so much, Christie. I loved our conversation tonight.
Yes.
Such amazing insight.
Thanks for having me.
I know. I was so happy to have you.
Yes, absolutely. And Thanks for letting me have a week off next week, Amy. I mean, it's
Yep.
work, but
Yeah. You're being
and I'll
very
be back the
SE
following
next
week. Yes, there you go.
And it'll be 7 p.m. next week. And then I guess when you come back, then we're going to start the 8 p.m. because your son is going to have the trombone or trumpet,
Yes.
right?
Trombone,
Okay.
yes.
Trombone. I knew it was one of those.
Yes.
All right. Well, wonderful. Well, the trombone's probably bigger than your son, practically.
Not anymore. He's pretty big.
Not anymore. All right, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for being with us.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Love you guys.
Everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.